Featuring protagonists who are often overworked, underpaid and standing on the thin line between law and order, cop movies have always offered a genre playground perfect for exploring society and the darker side of existence. Often wrestling with their own demons while they walk the neon, rain-drenched streets of the seedy city. Today we look at Boneyard Pictures' top 5 underrated cop movies. At number 5, a film that holds a really special place in my heart, Don Siegel's film noir Private Hell 36. This movie tells the story of two corrupt cops, a girl and a bag full of stolen money. Featuring an unforgettable performance from Ida Lupino.
Once upon a time, there was a girl. She could have been my twin, who got into trouble in a big city far away.
Whose company produced the movie in a thrilling good cop, bad cop storyline. The twist deals with a cop who has a crisis of conscience when he decides that the money he and his partner stole from a botched holdup might be his only chance at redemption and doing the right thing to prove to himself that he's a good man.
We're not going to give the money to that hood.
Oh, we're going to turn it over to Michaels. And what are you going to do for another job, if and when you get out?
I don't know, but I'm not going on like this.
This movie was my introduction to the world of noir and corrupt cops on screen. Expertly directed by Don Siegel, who was a director that could always nail the dark drama and the action of the noir genre, Private Hell 36 is a perfect example of an expertly directed low-budget noir dealing with the conscience of a cop who feels he has become the very thing he is sworn to fight against, an enemy of society.
Cover me, Cal. I don't run that on you! Shoot!
At number 4, a film that won James Coburn a well-deserved Oscar, but then seemed to fade into the background of the genre. Paul Schrader's spiral down of a good man, Affliction. The story of a small-town cop who was slowly losing his grip on sanity due to the sins of the father as he investigates what may or may not be a murder out in the snow.
Oh, my, look at my big boy here, bursting out the seams of his jeans. Yeah, little.
Schrader's masterful adaptation of the late Russell Banks' excellent novel looks at the obsession of a cop who is dealing with the legacy of a violent father, the return of an absent brother,
Only in books. It's what happened.
and the death of a mother. The tension builds and the drama unfolds, and Nick Nolte gives one of his finest performances as Wade, a cop whose job has become the only thing he has left to hold on to that might save his sanity. Next, a movie that is technically not a cop on the beat movie, but an excellent character study of an FBI agent
Yeah, FBI jurisdiction.
dealing with his own buried past as he investigates a murder on the Oglala Reservation.
Look at this. Yep, third world, slap dab in the middle of America.
At number 3, Michael Apted's criminally under-discussed Thunderheart. Apted's dramatic telling of his highly acclaimed true crime documentary, Incident at Oglala, features Val Kilmer in what for my money is his greatest dramatic role and an excellent supporting cast featuring human rights activist John Trudell,
in the service, man. Oh, yeah? No.
the excellent Sheila Tousey,
She said Grandpa Reaches told her you come from brave people.
the legend that is Sam Shepard,
I know more about the law and the history out here than the people themselves.
and Graham Greene as a tribal cop solving the case his own way.
Leo's been out here too long, man. I'm taking him to ceremonial burial.
It's a restricted area, Geronimo.
This is Indian land.
What's your name?
Hey, easy, Sal.
Sure as hell ain't Geronimo, Chief.
This movie deals with identity, cultural past, and the responsibilities of what it really means to work for a government that is supposed to protect and serve the people instead of serving its own financial gains and getting the right person for the crime.
What are you gonna do with that? Do a rain dance? End this drought?
It's about questioning blind justice and what it means to be true to your own past and heritage.
I knew my father. He was crazy. He drank himself to death in front of me and my mother. I was ashamed of him.
Thunderheart is a perfect mix of drama, action, and does what every great cop movie should do. It asks its audience to consider, What is the true meaning of law and order?
Listen, there ain't no word in Sioux for goodbye. Look after yourself, Ray.
At number 2, writer and director David Mamet's magnum opus, Homicide, starring Joe Mantegna as an old-school, hard-nosed homicide cop. This movie is an exercise in great storytelling and how genre filmmaking can be used to explore the nature of evil.
Would you like to know how to solve the problem of evil?
No, man. Because if I did, then I'd be out of a job.
A character's self-discovery and one's denial or acceptance of cultural identity.
She was running guns, wasn't she?
Yes, during our War of Independence. In our country, we call her a hero.
Following the murder of a Jewish shop owner in a rough part of town, Mantegna's cop wrestles with his own identity as he struggles to find his place in the world.
Hey, not my people, baby. So much anti-Semitism last 4,000 years, we must be doing something to bring it about. See you then.
He questions his heritage, his way of life, and finds that sometimes you can make the wrong decisions and that can destroy all that you have. A slow burn movie that works as a great detective story as well as an excellent cop procedural. This movie transcends the genre and becomes an exploration of the self and leaves you with a feeling that this movie fan, for one, has never quite been able to shake. In at number 1 is an adaptation of James Ellroy's L.A. Noire trilogy, featuring the life and work of Sergeant Lloyd Hopkins. This is James B. Harris's film, Cop.
You're welcome.
Cop is by no means a great adaptation of its fantastic source material, and it does suffer from a final confrontation that doesn't quite live up to the film's promise. But this movie has one of the greatest performances I have ever seen by a leading man. James Woods' portrayal of Sergeant Hopkins is phenomenal. Woods is relentless in the role, and you feel like you are there with him as he never sleeps, lives on stale coffee and wits alone, as he sets his sights on solving the crime, and he will stop at nothing until he delivers his own brand of justice.
Look, there was nothing wrong or illegal.
Jesus Christ, look, I don't give a shit if the two of you are f***ing each other in a bathtub of cocaine. All I care about is stopping this maniac before he kills again. Do you understand?
Hopkins investigates the brutal murders by a serial killer who is obsessed with a feminist bookstore owner who was wronged in the past, and the murderer's obsession leads to the killings. Wood's performance is non-stop energy, and Hopkins' sledgehammer hits the noir world as this cop believes in justice, and his own life suffers in the wake of his promise to serve and protect, no matter what the cost.
Let me tell you something you should get through your head. They're all little girls, Jan. Every one of them. Every one of those pathetic souls who eventually does herself in is a little girl.
Woods really delivers in this movie, and although we never find out Hopkins' dark and disturbing past and what makes him tick as we do in Ellroy's novels, Woods' performance gives us a very physical action that speaks volumes about who this character is. An excellent role that, for me, gives us one of the best character studies of a cop ever to grace the silver screen. So did your favourite cop movies make the list? What cop movies do you feel are underrated? Let me know in the comments below. So if you enjoyed this, please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for listening.